Hey you! Welcome to our channel. This is Nala, our tiny home at Benito First 26 feet. I'm Conceição and this is our captain Cleantis. We started our journey in 2016 from Greece, Crete, with the dream to circumnavigate the globe. Since then we visited West Africa, Senegal, the Bijagos archipelago in Guinea-Bissau and got trapped in Caribbean. Exploring mountains is a passion and the depths of the sea is an obsession. But that's okay, since life itself is our only possession. Join us on this journey. Cheers. Don't finish it, okay? Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In this video we'll be talking about preparations for an ocean crossing. So as you know, every year there are hundreds of sailboats crossing the Atlantic and other oceans, and some are just new sailors and others are professionals, but there is something very important for both of these groups. So this is food preserving for the ocean crossing. It can be long, can be short, you never know for sure. We did our first ocean crossing from Cape Verde, Mindelo to Martinique. We were used to being without a fridge, so we felt like we could do the crossing without any problem to conserve our food. But we were very wrong, and that cost us a lot. 1 week before finishing the trip, we ended up to have to throw away 80% of our remaining food. That's 1 week before destination. And this calculated because that week could have been longer. And we reached Martinique too with only 1 bottle of fresh water, 1.5 liters. That was dangerous and that was scary for a very first crossing. Our second crossing was with a 47-footer, mother of Nala, that was Anna, our trip from Australia, Sydney to Slovenia. And that was a hard one also because we had learned already from conserving food through our first ocean crossing, which was with Nala in 2019. But we had a fridge back then too, but it didn't serve us much. It was good to cool down beverages, but not to conserve the food as it should. So again, we end up with shortage of food. Water didn't lack this time because we were collecting from the rains. But we spent 47 days without seeing land. That was from Bali to Sudan. And we had big issues trying to fish and to conserve whatever food we had. So again, we almost starved. And we were very worried about developing scurvy because of lack of vitamin C. And we had with us some vitamin C tablets, but as you know, that doesn't work very well. For me, it gave me diarrhea. And because you know that our bodies, our organism can't actually take advantage of the whole vitamin C amount in the tablet. So you pee orange. Okay, that's the basic information. You pee orange, and anyway, it gave me diarrhea. We stopped just taking it. So that way, I learned to develop a more natural vitamin C supplements. And I will tell you about that. Many people, mainly new sailors, count on instant food for the big part of the journey, like plain rice, just pasta, and instant noodles for the big part of the journey. So I'm here to tell today that you can do better, and your body and butts, cover butts, and your body and taste buds will appreciate. In this video I'll be telling you, yes, it's quite foggy today. In this video we'll be showing you a few golden tips to preserve your food and to not suffer from malnutrition during your ocean crossing, be it a long one or short one. First rule in the list is how to store food. We did our crossing, and before that we were in Guinea-Bissau and Cape Verde, so there we bought our dry foods and the vegetable roots. Those are cassava, potatoes, sweet potatoes, inyamis, and the beans. What we didn't count on are the bags from the beans. Since we never had a problem with them, we didn't even know that they existed. So 1 week before our destination we had to throw away 80% of our food, and that because we kept the beans not in the normal container they come with, and those bags chewed through the plastic container and infected all the rest of our food. Pasta, rice, couscous, everything that was wheat and other cereals, all was gone. Most of it, at least, was gone. So therefore, we came up with this idea of storing this whatever actually fits in plastic bottles. Just store them in, because these bags, they can't chew through hard plastic. So it's just as simple as that. Where is my funnel? As simple as that. Just open the bags and pour them inside. This goes also for milk. Actually, it's a very good way to organize, to keep everything organized, and to keep a good counting of your food. In the crossing. This wasn't a good one to start with. One of the advantages of using the plastic bottles is also, even if you have bags in one of the containers, they stay isolated in the bottle and they don't spread for the rest of your food, as it happened to us. Okay, really close this item. So you don't take the risk of losing all your provisions, or most of it, because of the bags. So just whatever, these are lentils, just pour them in. This is our bottle. Can do that with quinoa. You go there. Butter, milk, whatever fits.
Dry milk.
Can do that with dry milk. We have it always in powder in order to last. And whatever fits in the bottle, literally, you can store it in order to preserve your food and keep them away from bags. Tip number 2, how to keep your veggies fresh for a long time, even for the whole trip. So if you have a fridge, you can go ahead and conserve your veggies and fruits for 1 week, a week and a half, and it will work. But if you don't have, or if you have more fruit, you can conserve it the same way even without fridge for up to 1 week. Okay, and that tip is with aluminium paper. So what aluminium will do to the fruit, to the veggies, and it's not all of the veggies. For example, we do that with the carrots or aubergine and what else? Cucumbers. But if you have, for example, avocados and you put them in aluminium, they're just gonna ripe faster. So don't go for it. You need, you do it with carrots a lot, and the veggies I just told you. So what you have to do is basically have them in the foil. Okay, we're gonna close the foil and keep it, keep a small space. You don't want to tight the foil. So just, okay, let's try it. So it's easier. For example, here is empty, and we want to try to do the same thing in this side. Okay, and we're gonna bend it all around. It's important to leave an empty space, for example here and there, or just, usually I do it just on the top. Okay, and I will store it like that, because the fruit gonna sweat. So when it sweats, it needs a empty spot to store the liquid in order to not make the fruit go bad, or the vegetable in this case go bad. So this is, you're gonna keep it in a dry and cool place, out of direct sun, for up to 1 week, sometimes last even longer, and then you can conserve your fruit this way. It's important though, if it is hot as it is right now in Caribbean, let's say you can renew this process, you can redo this for every 4 days to allow your vegetables to dry. I mean, you're gonna create, as I said, humidity inside, to allow it to dry, and cover it again the same way I just did, and keep it for another few days. So this is gonna last you 1 week or a week and a half if you don't have a fridge. Okay, another way to make veggies and fruits whatever it's raw actually lasts longer. It's drying process. We use it a lot. We do drying fish, we do drying fruits, we do drying carrots, we do drying whatever we actually want
Mango,
to dry.
papaya, eggs.
Cameraman is telling you. We never tried the eggs though, but we know that it's possible. We never need, your eggs gonna last you like 1 month or even more, you know. So it's not something you actually tried or we did or we need. So you can dry, just look at the pictures here, how the carrots got dried and how they shrink during the whole process. And after, to just have your carrots back to the normal states, you can just dive it in warm water and for a few minutes, and it's gonna almost get back to the initial phase of the carrot. It's amazing. You just need to dry it, really. In order to dry the carrot, you need to bleach it. That's a very important step to not get oxidated. And how you do that? So you boil, you put a pot in with water in the fire. On fire, you let it boil, and when it boils, you have your carrots cut in small pieces, maybe 1 centimeter of thickness, 2 centimeters. Cameraman is telling me no. So how much?
Like a 2 euros coin.
Yeah, that's a half centimeter.
That's less than half.
Yeah? Okay, let's say you can just take a 2
50 cents.
2 euros coin and measure it to see like the carrot. Okay, you can cut it slightly thicker, okay, but the thinner you cut it, the faster it's gonna dry. That's the truth. So you cut it, you put it inside the boiling pot for 1 minute and you remove it. Usually I will tell you just put it in the cold, in a container with cold water, ice water, but that's gonna actually make the vitamins, since the carrots it's full of vitamins, it's gonna leach into the water and you're gonna keep losing vitamins into the water. What you can do is cook it slightly less time, so instead of boiling it for 1 minute, you boil it for 30 seconds and you let it cool down in an arid space and cool space. So this way it's gonna stop the oxidation process and you're not gonna have once more the vitamins leaching into the water, into the cold water. And after that, you're gonna spread it in a sheet. Here in the previous picture, as you saw, we used the net, but the faster way is to use an aluminum container. And
it's not a container, it's a form, aluminum form.
To use an aluminum form, and you're gonna spread the pieces of the carrots uniformly, not on top of another, just you're gonna give a bit of space in between so they don't be crowded in one spot. And you let it dry, depends how long actually it's gonna take, because I don't know how strong is sun in there where you are, but for us
maximum 3 days.
If you have sun, maximum 3 days, that will do. We're about to use an oven because you don't have enough sun where you are. You have to lower it in the lowest setting possible. Let's say that's 30, not 30, 60 degrees Celsius, or 100 degrees is fine, you figure out. You can do that. It's important to be a ventilated oven, so because it's the hot air that's gonna dehydrate the carrot. You don't want to cook it exactly, you want just to dehydrate it. So just set it and leave the door of the oven slightly open so you don't cook it, you just dry it. It's not gonna spend much, even if you leave it for 12 hours, it's not gonna spend much because it's very low consumption. Tip number 3. This is a natural way to preserve vitamin C. So when we did our crossing from Australia to Slovenia, as I referred before, we had a problem with the scurvy. We didn't have the problem, we thought that you will have a problem with scurvy, and we were very scared, and the tablets we had didn't help us really. This made me realize that I needed to find the natural way to have supplements of vitamin C, and I came up with, in my search, I came up with this idea. So I don't know if you knew, but the orange or any other citrus will work. Let's say tangerine, is that easy peeler? Tangerine, easy peeler, grapefruits, lemon, all of them will work, but I choose my orange. So it's important to choose chemical-free orange, as the chemicals tend to concentrate a lot in the peel, and even if you wash it very well, it's not gonna come out whole. So organic fruit will work. What you have to do, it's peel your fruit, orange in this case, very thinly. So let's say as thin as this. Okay, you don't want it thick peeled. If you don't have a peeler, you can just use a knife, but be very careful to not take the white peel, inner peel together, because it's very bitter. You're gonna use this peel in salads, in tea. It's for tea lovers and essence lovers too. So you're gonna peel it. What you're gonna do is put it air drying in away from direct sunlight, and this is gonna dry in 2 days approximately. And you don't want to leave it much longer, because you lose the vitamin C with when the orange is in contact with air for a long period. What you're gonna do, you're gonna let it dry, and once it's dried, you'll know that it's dried. I have some here. You see how thinly it's peeled. The color should be a bit brighter than this. This I have been leaving it here already for some time, so it starts oxidizing, let's say. And you know that it's dried when it tears apart like this very easily. You know, it's basically cracks. Sometimes depends how dry it is. But this is ready already, and it's too ready actually. What you're gonna do after drying is leave it in an airtight container, and to conserve it, and you can also put it in a blender and make it into powder. The powder, you can use it just to sprinkle on the food, or you can just tear it apart as I'm doing right now, like that, and use it for tea. Be careful to not make water too hot. You don't want to burn your vitamin C and lose it. And this is, you can also actually burn the peel, and it's gonna give a very nice essence. Your crossing doesn't really need to be that hard. You can have a little pleasure too with it. Burn it just for the smell, and it's gonna perfume your boat or your place. This is a good way to use the vitamin C, to preserve the vitamin C. Another way is to use the juice of a lemon. What you're gonna do is fill up a bottle, can be 1 liter bottle, with the lemon juice. You're gonna put just a tiny bit of salt, just a pinch of salt. Okay, you're gonna put it in the bottle, and you're gonna leave the bottle, you're gonna leave the lid of the bottle not tight. You're gonna close it, but just drop it. I'll show you. You're just gonna, now with the movement of the I can't really do it, but basically literally just gonna drop the drop the lid on it, slightly open, like let's say like that. You're gonna make it stay and leave it in a corner away from direct sunlight again, and for 1 day or 2 days, basically when it stops bubbling, that's when the fermentation process is finished. So the salt is gonna conserve your vitamin C, and you can have it, your fresh lemon juice, for cooking, for make a lemonade or whatever you wish with lemon, and you're not gonna be worried about scurvy also. So this is the tip for the conserving vitamin C. Next, tip number 4. So on this tip we have fish. Okay, we're gonna teach you how to keep your catch, conserve it, and after you can use it for like after a long time. Doesn't matter, it can be even after the crossing. You can use it to prepare your food. So this is a pink salmon. Okay, we just caught it here in Caribbean. It's like fresh, super fresh and nice. I just put my hand and pulled it out. Amazing. We just bought it, it's frozen. I know there are no salmons here. But this clip I'm gonna leave it for the captain to explain to you, because he knows much better about this process than me. So I don't want to do bloopers here. Just